Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today's March 14th, and right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop, and you can see a powerful jet stream out over the Pacific Ocean. We'll take a look at that here in a moment. But we've got storm systems moving in along that jet stream here over the next few days. Some quite potent, some big mountain snow, some heavy rainfall, and some gusty winds for some locations. We'll take a look at the latest on that. Pretty crazy day there yesterday. A few thunderstorms around the region. Saw that SeaTac did not officially record a thunderstorm, but had a few rounds of hail out there and saw some lightning was out and about the area. So you probably dealt with that to some extent. Also, some pretty chilly temperatures this morning. I noticed a little bit of freezing on my deck last night here at SeaTac, and that would be considered rain that froze. Once rain falls and then it kind of freezes as you get radiational cooling during the nighttime hours. That's what's known as, when rain falls and then freezes here. When you're actively dropping that precipitation as rain and it is freezing, that's what's known as freezing rain, regardless of if the drops are super cooled or not. So taking a look here at Portland and Salem and Newport along the Oregon coast, you can see some chilly temperatures out there. And again, 36 at Seattle. It was a chilly 33 at my house, 34 at Bellingham. You can see colder conditions east of the mountains as well. And if we take a look at some of the temperatures right now, you see some of the outlying areas did have some chillier temperatures out there. And so heads up for that. If you're just stepping outside this morning, it was a bit slick on my deck, as I mentioned. And you can see some of the chillier temperatures across the higher terrain. Now looking at Seattle, Tacoma, we got winter storm warnings in effect for the Cascades. This goes all the way down through the Cascades of Oregon as well. Check this out. Heavy snow expected at or above elevations greater than 2,000 feet. Total snow accumulations between 12 and 18 inches. This is from 5 a.m. Saturday morning to 11 a.m. on Sunday. So be prepared for those difficult travel conditions. Disregard that one. That graphic was for yesterday, but I'm showing you the winter storm warnings across the Oregon Cascades. Also, look at this heavy snow expected 2 to 4 feet. That's not inches, 2 to 4 feet. Winds gusting as high as 40 miles per hour from 8 a.m. this morning till 11 p.m. on Sunday. So heads up for that action. And look at Crater Lake, a couple feet expected as we go through Saturday morning. This is just Thursday night through Saturday morning's totals here. This is from last night. And you see Siskiyou Summit, so there's going to be difficult travel back and forth across the I-5 corridor. Once you get down south of Medford there, the pass is pretty high there, and it can be pretty nasty when you're going across there. If you're watching, the snowfall can catch you off guard if you're not expecting it. Klamath Falls, 2 to 3 as well. Now, taking a look at the heavy rainfall as we go through this weekend. This was put out yesterday, but it still applies. A lot of rainfall coming for some of southwest Oregon. Got to watch out for some flooding conditions there as well. Now, this is all the way up towards Spokane. National Weather Service here with another great graphic. This was put out yesterday afternoon, but you see Stevens and Snoqualmie Pass, 70 to 90% chance of a foot or more. Lookout Pass, 70% chance of 12 plus, both on I-90 there, and you got the mixed rain and snow. You could get an inch or two for places like Spokane, but mainly above 2,000 feet, northern valleys. And I should kind of throw in the caveat there that a lot of areas in eastern Washington are much higher terrain than they are for like Seattle or Portland, for example. So, 2,000 feet is not as an extreme of a deal there for eastern Washington. And again, watch out for those big impacts. Now, looking at across the Pacific, we got Japan all the way to the left here. There's Washington, Oregon, and British Columbia to the right. And again, you can kind of picture that there. We're looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. And put this into motion, and you can see this activity moving towards the coastline there. And again, we're going to have atmospheric river conditions coming in here, and another system moving in as we go. And then there's another one that spins up off our coastline as we go on in through Wednesday there as well. And you can kind of see the jet stream still pointed at the Pacific Northwest. Now, taking a look here at the troughing along the west coast of North America, and you can see that we are going to be dealing with that system sliding in as we go through the day today, and then you see we can keep this troughing, and this next system rolls through as we go on in through the day Sunday. A little bit of a break here, maybe Tuesday and portions of Wednesday. Some model disagreement on just when this storm will be coming in on the day Tuesday, but you see additional troughing, additional systems really squall off and towards March 21st into the 22nd there, another system clipping us, but then look at that. The European Artificial Intelligence shows some kind of a ridge building here. Maybe we'll get a few nice days as we squall up in towards the later portion of March. We'll see how this trends over the next few days. Now, This is what the Doppler radar may look like over the next 60 hours. You see Seattle, no rain right now. A lot of western Washington, much of the state. In fact, a few showers across British Columbia. But this will be marching across Oregon as we go through the day today. Here we go through this afternoon. There's about 4 p.m. about right there. And then you can see as we go on in through tonight and tomorrow, you see the mountain snows. Off and on snow showers possible for places like Spokane and some of eastern Washington, Oregon. But some of that's going to be rainfall across the Columbia Basin. Then we scroll in the overnight hours, and you can see how the snow is really going to be moving up across the Washington Cascades as well. Then we've got another system quickly rolling in here as we go through Saturday afternoon, keeping that snow going for Oregon. Another round back up into Washington Saturday night. Atmospheric river signature pointed at southwest Oregon as we go on in through Saturday night into Sunday. Look at that plume of moisture and another big round of snowfall coming for the higher terrain. Thunderstorm potential maybe as we go through the day Sunday. We'll watch out for that when you see some of these showers showing up for western Washington, western Oregon there. Now taking a look at sea level pressure. So here's where we are right about now. And you can see this precipitation slide northward as we go through the day today. Here we go through this afternoon. It starts to move up across the Washington Cascades. Taking a look here all the way on through Saturday afternoon. Snowfall just continuing. That's why these winter storm warnings are up. This next low pressure center, we got to watch this one on the day Saturday. There's Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. If this comes in a little bit deeper, any millibar is going to add to that pressure gradient there for some of central and southern Oregon. It just continues to slam into Oregon. Again, there's that atmospheric river feature all the way through Sunday morning. That system finally slides through there, keeps the onshore flow going there in some mountain snows all the way on and through Monday night into Tuesday morning. But we get a bit of a break here Tuesday and potentially some of the day on Wednesday before the next frontal system, relatively probably a moderate frontal system, we'll just call it here as we go through the day Wednesday, depending on just what the track of this low is and how strong it is. Another round of some wintry weather for the higher terrain and additional rainfall amounts. March definitely pretty active here through the first half, no doubt. Now, taking a look here at accumulated positive snow depth change in inches. So here we go through the day today. We're down to tomorrow morning when the snow starts piling up here as we go through Saturday into Saturday night. Another round for the Cascades. But look at the Oregon Cascades. We are getting huge amounts of snowfall as we go through the weekend coming up. Glad to see it. You see Spokane off and on snow, maybe some light accumulations, 1 inch to 2 inches, for example. You see some of the Blue Mountains there as well. And then we scroll all the way out towards about Wednesday afternoon, and you can see the impressive snowfall amounts across the Oregon Cascades and at times across the Washington Cascades as well. So a wider view of things here on the European Artificial Intelligence. So there's that atmospheric river feature as we go through Sunday morning there. Then we get onshore flow, get a little bit of a break before the next system starts to arrive. And the European Artificial Intelligence also shows this system is weakening, but it does bring another round of rainfall here. Then we have additional systems rolling in through the 21st, the 22nd, just very active weather until potentially we start to get that ridging here towards the end of the month. But don't count your chickens before they are hatched. We'll continue to watch that to see if that is indeed going to be the case. Now let's take a look at the GFS there. We know the system's coming in during this weekend. Pretty good model agreement there. You can really see that heavy rainfall there and some big mountain snows. Then as we go through the day Tuesday, it looks like we get a bit of a break. And then on the day Wednesday as well. And the GFS is slower with this system, keeping that low a little bit further south, brings the next round of rainfall not until Thursday there. So we get a little bit more of a break with the GFS. We'll watch that again tomorrow and try to get the timing of the next system. But then it does show things picking back up as we go through the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, 24th. It doesn't show that ridging there, the 24th and 25th there. So, let's just continue to watch that for now. Here's the artificial intelligence next 15-day precipitation anomaly, and of course a lot of that falling here as we go through this upcoming weekend. Now, 100-meter wind speeds also show the winds as we go through this morning. It is a bit blustery across some of the southwest Oregon coastline. And then you can see how we kind of keep the gusty winds here as we go through tonight into tomorrow morning. You can see some blustery conditions across the region. No region-wide windstorm expected just yet, but we do have to watch this one right there. If that low comes in a bit deeper, that's going to cause some strong winds, or if it tracks a bit further north, it could include places like Astoria and maybe up into southwest Washington. Again, the track of that low means everything. You see the strong winds to the south of there. Not too bad right just yet. But again, we got to watch the strength of that one. These late breaking waves, or these weak systems here as they move towards the coastline, relatively weak anyway. These have these can catch you by surprise there. There's something known as the South Valley Surprise back in 2002 there for Oregon, where it caught people off guard with one of these systems developing and becoming deeper than they had forecast and really bringing some strong winds across the region. Now, taking a look here at the European Artificial Intelligence, total precipitation in inches, again, just kind of driving home that point. Look at some of this rainfall for southwest Oregon. You can see much of the region here, we're dealing with some pretty heavy rainfall amounts. Oregon is really targeted quite nicely here as we go through the next couple of weeks. Now, 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. You can see the below normal here across the west coast. There's the above normal for the Pacific Northwest. 8 to 14 day, interesting signal there, kind of the below normal surrounded by much of the lower 48 being above. And there's the 8 to 14 day as well as we go through March 27th. That'll probably be changing, flipping and flopping back and forth depending on what the models show, of course. And this should be good, for the Oregon Cascades especially, and hopefully the Washington Cascades. We start to bump these numbers up a bit. Not a great showing for a La Nina year. You can see some of these areas across the North Cascades. Not doing too hot as far as the snow water equivalent there for some of the higher terrain. And here's the average temperature departure from average. This is in Fahrenheit. January 1st through March 13th, and you can see we've got that La Nina signature since the beginning of the new year. And there's the precipitation departure from average. This is probably going to catch Oregon back up. A lot of Oregon is probably going to catch back up here over the next few days. Washington is a little bit further behind and not getting quite as much, so probably still going to be running a deficit, but this is definitely beneficial. Cascades west across the region. And this is the latest drought monitor here. We do have some moderate across some of Western Washington and the Cascades there, and these rounds of storms will definitely help eat into that. You can still see we have some extreme and some severe drought across portions of western Montana, some of the Idaho Panhandle under moderate drought as well. And you see the rough time they've been having across the southwest USA, even with recent storms. We'll see how that trends. But yeah, anyway, I was sick yesterday, still have a bit of a sore throat right now. Kids have been sick and whatnot too. So anyway, I plan on, jumping back into my normal routine here, however. So anyway, hope you guys are liking the channel. Click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow and break all these systems down again, and I will talk to you guys then.